As many of you know, in just a few short weeks, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will be revealing his secret peace initiative to the world. Many in Israel are worried that he will give away much more than they would expect, including Jerusalem. According to Israel Today, Netanyahu may be at this very moment preparing ahead of time to give away parts of East Jerusalem as their capital of a future Palestinian state. Here's an excerpt from the article. A prominent Israeli activist told participants in the 8th Annual Jerusalem Conference on Tuesday that while the world bickers over future control of Jerusalem, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has in fact already divided the city. Marie King of the Israel Land Fund charged that today 8 neighborhoods on the eastern side of Jerusalem are off limits to Jews. He presented video evidence of Israeli police preventing Jewish motorists from entering the neighborhoods in question. Jews entering these neighborhoods by special permission require an Israeli army escort. King also noted that the Palestinian Authority police officers are operating freely in these neighborhoods with no opposition from Israel. The Likud government, the present government of Israel, already divided Jerusalem, King told Israel National News following the presentation. King and others fear that the current reality in Jerusalem will eventually lead to Israel's leadership throwing up its hands and insisting that since the city is already effectively divided, they might as well surrender sovereignty to the Palestinian Authority. In other news, French Foreign Minister Alain Juppé has stated that EU recognition of a Palestinian state is a distinct possibility that cannot be ruled out. He indicated that France would not recognize a Palestinian state on its own, but it would be an EU-wide recognition. There is no point recognizing the Palestinian state on our own. It must be done together, Juppé told the Parliamentary Foreign Affairs Committee of an eventual recognition by EU countries. Personally, we're not there yet. I think it's a possibility that should be kept in mind, he said. Uruguay has also joined a growing list of South American countries which have already recognized a Palestinian state within pre-1967 borders. According to Palestinian officials, they expect to have at least 150 countries recognizing a Palestinian state by September of this year. Many believe that Prime Minister Netanyahu's peace initiative announcement set for May is timed to preempt PA officials' unilateral move of declaring a Palestinian state later this year. I've never felt that a Palestinian unilateral move would make much noise beyond the UN Security Council, but with the latest Middle East unrest, a new direction may be in the future. Here's a scenario that I feel could play out as a distinct possibility for this long-awaited biblical peace accord. Come May, I question whether Mr. Netanyahu will offer enough to satisfy Palestinian leaders, although I do believe he will offer more this time around than in previous initiatives, likely including the 8 East Jerusalem neighborhoods mentioned above. He might even give away as much as 80% of the West Bank and allow for a multinational military force to police the region. However, it's more likely that he'll insist on a continued Israeli presence to prevent weapons smuggling and a Hamas takeover of the proposed state. At this time, Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas is seeking to unify with Hamas, so a takeover may not be necessary. It's probable, if they were to unite, that they would eventually take control through free elections as they did in Gaza. I have to believe that Palestinian officials now feel they can achieve more through the will of the international community than through direct talks with Israel. Come September of this year, I would not be surprised if the European Union as a whole recognizes a Palestinian state within pre-1967 borders. If this were to happen, it would place a tremendous amount of pressure upon the U.S. to bow to the wishes of the international community. Whether or not we are living within God's timing for this to happen is still unknown. But if we are, I believe a world leader will rise up with the authority and power of the global community and confirm a peace accord between Israel, Palestine, and many other nations. This confirmation or strengthening of peace may be a part of a broader Middle East crackdown to maintain order and stability in the region. The world is waking up quickly to the fact that the price of oil is holding the global community hostage and suppressing any possibility of economic growth. It will become apparent if any economic stability is to return, a sense of calm will have to return to the Middle East. Of course, before any peace accord can be confirmed, the rapture of the church must take place first. One more thing to consider. When Christians are taken from this world, their undying support for Israel will leave with them. Frankly, if not for the strong U.S. Christian support for Israel, Barack Obama would have betrayed Israel and embraced Iran long ago. I look for this to happen in the near future. This is Terry Malone with the Calvary Prophecy Report.